Welcome back to Gothic Homemaking. Hey monster kids, do you know what time it is? It's halfway to Halloween, halfway to Halloween. Halfway to Halloween, halfway to Halloween. Well, I do, and they probably do too. We get a little excited here at Half-O-Ween at the Lair of Voltaire. That's Half-O-Ween, halfway to Halloween, because we can officially start counting down the days to the most glorious time of year. Though truth be told, every day is Halloween at the Lair of Voltaire. Isn't that right?
Candy corn.
What? Well, I'm celebrating Half-O-Ween in every way that I can think of, including releasing my most recent antibacterial mask and glove set. This is the Jack-O-LAIR-ntern design. Jack-O-LAIR-ntern. Get it? It's the easiest Halloween costume you will ever buy that also kills germs. The fabric is treated with Microban and it kills germs up to the first 50 washes, on top of being extremely comfortable and very spooky. Now, last year a lot of Halloween stuff was canceled. I really hope that's not going to be the case this year. But if you're concerned about going from one ghoul's house to the other and taking candy from random strangers, this antibacterial mask and glove set might be the costume for you. I'll put a link in the video description below where you can get a pair. Now, last Halloween, you may recall that I made a cemetery dirt parfait and some horrible harvest pies. Well, to celebrate Half-O-Ween, one of the other things I'm doing is I'm going to make Halloween cupcakes. Last year, you may remember that I bought a tremendous number of things for making Halloween cupcakes, and I never got around to making them. So today we're going to dig that all out of the crypt, we're going to dust it off, and we're going to make some spooky treats. Now, I won't be making anything from scratch today. As the baking noob that I am, I'm going to rely on store-bought mixes like this Funfetti cake mix by Pillsbury. Today I'm shooting for quick, easy, and wonderfully macabre. It's remarkably easy to make. You just pull it out of the box and, under the supervision of skeletal bats, just pour the mix into a bowl. As per the directions on the box, you add a cup of water. A certain kitchen goblin told me that you can substitute milk for a more homemade flavor. You add half a cup of vegetable oil, and you can substitute butter for a richer taste. And you add 3 eggs. A huevo, sin miedo al éxito. Then you mix it all for 2 minutes with an electric mixer, and all the better if the mixer is black. Now we're going to be pouring the batter into a cupcake pan like this one, so we don't have to oil it because we'll be using these paper baking cups I found at Joann's last Halloween. These I found at a Walmart. I thought they looked really cool, but then I dropped them all over the floor. So I bought them so that no one would have dirt in their cupcake mix. Of course you do. So I think we won't be using those after all. Now, I just randomly started putting them in the cupcake pan. These baking cups save you a ton of cleanup time later on. Next, you bring in the batter and start spooning it into the baking cups. With a skeletal spoon, of course, if you have one. Again, my little kitchen goblin whispered in my ear and told me that it's easier to do with 2 spoons. And it was. And I saw that it was good. Keep in mind, this is my first time ever making cupcakes. You fill the baking cups up halfway, and then you put them in an oven that's been preheated to 350 degrees. Now, while those are baking, I'm also going to be making a batch of Devil's Food Cake cupcakes using this mix. I'm not going to show you how to mix it because it's exactly as the first batch. After about 20 minutes, I pulled the Funfetti cupcakes out and I gave them the old toothpick test. If the toothpick comes out dry, they are done. Now for frosting. Last Halloween, I bought the accompanying Funfetti frosting, but I stupidly opened it to taste it, and I thought it tasted terrible. Plus, I forgot to refrigerate it, so we won't be using this one. It did come with some really cool sprinkles that we could use, but I have even better options that I'm going to show you in a minute. However, We can make our own orange-colored frosting by using any white vanilla frosting like these by Wilton that I bought at Michael's, or Duncan Hines, which you can get at any supermarket. To color the frosting, I used Wilton Color Right orange food color that I bought at Michael's. I simply poured a few drops into the frosting container and mixed it right in there. And of course you can add more as you go along to achieve the desired saturation. Now I'm also going to need a gray frosting, so for that I'm using McCormick Black Food Color. It takes very few drops to make this white icing gray, so go easy. Finally, I'm going to use this green funfetti frosting for my green cupcakes. It comes with purple and black sprinkles with googly eyes that you can put on the cupcakes to turn them into cosmic horror critters. What's that, you ask? Cosmic Horror Critters is one of my latest designs for my Society 6 store. As you can see, the color scheme is green, purple, and black. These Cthulhu-inspired creatures are spooky, yet quirky and whimsical. Now, you can get this design on throw pillows like this one, or shower curtains, or iPhone cases. Really, it comes on 100 different things. But today, I am going to use this design to inspire my first cupcakes ever. The first step was to transfer the frosting into a piping bag from Michael's. Behold, as I use a piping bag for the very first time in my life. I am such a noob. I experimented with different techniques, and in time I sort of got the hang of it. And I created treats that looked like brains, or man-eating plants, or extraterrestrial fungi. Next, it was time for the sprinkles. The first step was to separate the eyes from the sprinkles. Now, one of the attributes of the Cosmic Horror Critters is that they never seem to have a normal number of eyes. They have either only one or they have many. I wanted to go with that theme for the cupcakes. Brains, brains, I won't lie. This sort of looks like a familiar guy, doesn't it? Next, representing the colors from deep space, I added black and purple sprinkles. And now, my Cosmic Horror Critters are done. My first batch of cupcakes ever. For my next batch, I decided to go for a classic Halloween theme. And for that, you can't go wrong with black cats and pumpkins in a black and orange color scheme. Take a look. This time around, I applied my orange icing with a spatula and smoothed it out. Again, the first one was pretty terrible, and they get a little bit better with each subsequent try. Practice makes perfect, just like they say. To decorate these, I'll be using Halloween sprinkles. I have various options that I picked up last Halloween at Joann's. As you can see, this one is sort of a graveyard mix. It has black and red sprinkles, bones, and gravestones. And here we have Jack-O-Lantern's Glow, a beautiful collection of jack-o'-lanterns and ghost shapes, and this one is just perfect for our Halloween Scream cupcakes. The first step is apparently to pour them very sloppily onto a dish. And then you simply press the cupcake into the sprinkles and roll to get good coverage. And here they are, but I'm not quite done yet. I'll be using these edible black cat and pumpkin decorations that I bought at Michael's last Halloween. Each cupcake gets a kitty and a Halloween pumpkin. Well, truth be told, I think I got the pumpkin ones around Thanksgiving. Nonetheless, it makes for a delicious, classic Halloween design that I call Halloween Scream. The question is, are they too cute to eat? Of course, it wouldn't be Halloween, or even Half-O-Ween, without a midnight stroll through a cemetery. So for my third and final batch, I took inspiration from the resting place of the dead. No, dummy, I don't even know why you're still here. You're the only fool who refuses to go quietly into the night. Most distinguished and discerning corpses prefer to be entombed in a necropolis.
What?
In other words, in a cemetery. And that's why my last batch of cupcakes is called Graveyard Picnic. Take a look. For these, I'm using the Devil's Food Cake. Remember to let your cupcakes sit until they are cool before decorating them. I'll be using my gray frosting on these. I'm slowly getting the hang of how to apply the frosting. Next, make a giant mess pouring graveyard sprinkles onto a plate. I clearly haven't gotten the hang of this part. Then once again I dipped and rolled my cupcakes in the sprinkles, but this time I only covered the sides. Though I did accidentally get a nice little tombstone right where I wanted one. And I added a bone for good measure, but I have something special planned for the center. That's already looking pretty eerie. But we're not done yet. If you remember my cemetery dirt parfait video from last Halloween, you might recall these candy tombstones that I bought that you can write on with edible marker. I drew on a few of them, but I didn't end up using them in that recipe, so we're going to avail ourselves to them right now. Rest in peace 2020. Amen to that. Each ghoulish little cupcake gets a tombstone. And my graveyard picnic cupcakes are done. And here is the final presentation, my first cupcakes ever. Cosmic horror critters, the classic Halloween scream, and the spooky graveyard picnic. Not bad for the first time making cupcakes, huh? I think they look really great. How do they taste? Well, having had a lot of gourmet cupcakes in my life, I will tell you that they taste every single bit like what they are. And that's cupcakes from a mix with frosting from a can. They're not that bad, and I can assure you, your little monsters are not going to complain. I also did find that refrigeration helped the taste, so I'd suggest putting them in the fridge for a couple of hours before serving them. Now, I have to tell you, I've always been afraid of baking. It just always seemed like this alien thing that was somehow beyond my means. But like with anything new that you're afraid of trying, take baby steps. Just dip your toe in the water and do something really simple. And before you know it, that fear of the unknown will be completely gone. Me gone? I'm the only one here to eat all these cupcakes.
Wait, what? No!
Come to think of it, what am I gonna do with all of these? Happy Half-O-Ween, y'all! Any cupcakes?